Welcome back, everybody, to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, we're talking about power. We're not talking about power as far as who's ruling a country, who's in charge in various states or government seats or anything like that. We're talking about electrical power, power grids, the power crisis that's gripping our country. It's going to happen all over the world soon, most of the Western developed nations. Europe is having an issue, and we're going to tie all these power issues back to crypto. So we'll just stay tuned for that. So let me get started. I've got a lot to share. So let me share my screen, and I'll try. You can see like about a bazillion tabs I have open, and I'm going to try and there are a couple politicized websites that I'm using. I'm trying to stay apolitical about this. I'm just going to talk about what's really happening, what the facts are, and again how it ties back to crypto. So, excuse me. So first story, an estimated 20 million. Most of these stories, unless I say otherwise, are within a month. Okay. So this one is just from yesterday. An estimated 20 million U.S. households are already behind on their energy bills. Not going to get into the political parts of this. So that's the fact I'm going to highlight. Hot weather demand surging in California. Authorities are looking at a shortfall of 5,000 megawatts. That's I think that would be gigawatts, 5 gigawatts. Government had to send out an emergency message begging citizens to ration power, ironically, just weeks after announcing a future ban on gas-powered automobiles. So, and there's potential of charging those cars and crashing the grid. So, next story for the New York Post, a little bit more. State officials, and this is again California, they have banned the sale of gas-powered cars by 2035. So you have about a dozen years or so to get your car, according to this legislation, and it has to be electric going forward. But a preview of the nightmare, again, talking about the power issues, California's electricity woes offer a taste of a possible future green energy nightmare. So there's again about the heat wave and the high chances of rolling blackouts. Californians are being told to turn up their temperature on air conditioners to at least 78 degrees and not charge their electric cars on Sunday afternoons and evenings. And the statement is that if there isn't enough electricity to charge the current number of electric cars in California, estimated to be about 1 million, how could there be confidence that Californians should put in the availability of electricity in 2035 and beyond? Great question. And I know I have a lot of tabs open. I'm going to try to get through them as quickly and clearly as possible. A lot of them are just going to talk about the headlines. Here's another one. California energy officials are warning of planned outages. Okay, planned blackouts were talked about again in September. We've got another one. Power grid operators in California, stage 3 alert level, rotating power outages are possible. Another story. This is another one. This is a electric provider called SMUD. That's an interesting change, but they are offering a $50 prepaid MasterCard and an additional $25 each summer if you participate in what they call the My Energy Optimizer. The program requires you to have a smart thermostat, and they can get $50 off if you get it through this program. How the program works: once enrolled in the program, SMUD, again, weird name, will synchronize with your device and cool your home before a peak event. It will then reduce energy used during the event. So they'll give you a heads up a day in advance and give you an option to adjust your thermostat so you won't be controlled. Utility won't adjust settings on non-peak event dates. They also say that if you have more than 15 peak events each season from June 1st to September 30th, and they won't have more than 15 peak events, and they won't last longer than 4 hours. Now, this is a foot in the door, right? This is what they say now, but once you give up control over your own thermostat in your own home, who's to say that something else can't happen? For example, Colorado. Energy company locks Colorado residents out of their smart thermostats. They shut down access to 22,000 customers' smart thermostats on Tuesday. So that was probably, I think, September 1st. I think that's right. Citing an energy emergency as temperatures were 90 degrees in Colorado. So Xcel's thermostat lockout involved customers who participate in a voluntary program that offers money in exchange for giving up control of their thermostat. That sounds familiar. So they gave the customers $100 for signing up and $25 a year thereafter. So giving up control can lead to these kinds of events, which can greatly impact your family. But going forward, let's look at a bunch of other things This is getting to be a very, very hot topic. No pun intended. Texas. This is from August, late August, so less than a month ago. Texas grid avoids summer blackouts with $1 billion in extra spending. I didn't go into the details because they don't really share them, but they just say paying more to keep higher reserves and rewarding industrial consumers to cut usage. So everybody's worried about power consumption. Here's another story. Will the electric grid be able to power EVs, electric vehicles, and everything else? So there's another story. Just walking through Zero Hedge, a couple stories from from earlier this year. This one's from May. America's electric grid has a $2 trillion problem. And I'm just going to highlight these, and then I'll talk about this. The green agenda is causing U.S. power grid to be incredibly vulnerable. Story from July. All right, again, July. Texas grid operators warn of blackouts. Germany, this is recent. Germany experts warn of grid instability and conventional power plants needed for a long time to come, rather than just trying to turn off the old ones that are viewed as dirty and not green. Like they're saying that you're going to need them. There's no way to get around using them. Next one. Just days after phasing out new gas cars, California says avoiding charging EVs. That's kind of the same story that we had earlier. And these are just these stories that I could grab and just off the highlights of Zero Hedge. There's just so many of them. U.S. power grid can't support its climate pledges from September 2nd, just a couple of days ago. California declares grid emergency for fifth straight day as blackout risks surge, again, September 5th. Germany's power grid. So it's not just the U.S. Germany's power grid faces collapse as millions stock up on inefficient electric heaters for the winter. So that's just from yesterday. So here's just Google Trends for looking for firewood. Okay, there's just lots of people concerned about going into winter, especially in colder climates, and how to deal with this. So Germany weighs nationalizing. These weird. Germany weighs nationalizing Uniper to avert Lehman-like contagion as energy crisis worsens. So Uniper is one of the. I think it's. Uniper is. I think it's an energy supplier. Uniper, yeah. German officials are mulling over increasing their stake in troubled national gas importer Uniper. So they're concerned about getting enough energy for Europe. I mentioned this story recently as well, how Swiss social media is abuzz about writing out your neighbor and they said that this poster was not true, but they did say, as I said in that story, violators that you need to have your home temperatures below 66 degrees Fahrenheit and lower outside water and lower your hot water heater to 60 degrees, which is really cold. Subject to penalties, fines, imprisonment, and spot checks. Okay, moving along. I talked about this story recently in another video. Iran businesses get the green light to use. They're basically Iran. They're sanctioned, but what they are doing is they're converting their oil to Bitcoin and using the Bitcoin to buy energy reserves outside. So they're converting their energy. It's all about energy right now and control of energy, and it's tied to the financial markets. A few more. I just looked at the European energy crisis, and this number of stories just for today is insane. Here's one from Bloomberg. There's going to be lots of pop-ups. Sorry. From beer to tomatoes, Europe's energy crisis is spilling over. I don't think I highlighted anything in this one. I think I highlighted the last one. The EU chief lays out plan to tackle looming energy crisis. So again, this is today's article. Another one from Reuters. EU seeks out $140 billion to insulate consumers from energy crisis. They're both probably related. And then lastly, this is from Sanna Marin. I'm not sure who. Let's see. Let me find out who she is. Finnish Prime Minister Sanna Marin. The EU will survive Russia's control of energy supplies. I'm paraphrasing. In the looming long winter. So you can see. Let me drop out. There's a lot of stories, and just I share them all. And I'm sorry I didn't want to read to you all that much, and I had my earpiece in case anything started playing because I had so many pages open. But let me just tell you what's going on. It's just like everybody is talking about energy. There's an energy crisis, but there's enough energy in the world. There is, but they're controlling it. So again, power over power. And how does this relate to crypto? One more moment for that. But if you haven't checked it out, please check out Economic Preppers and check out our event down in Dallas, Texas. It's on October 8th. Tickets, we can hold the rooms for, we have discounted rooms at the locations. You can stay at the same location where the event is, but the lock on those rooms ends this weekend. Get them by the 16th to be safe. That's this Friday. Get your tickets. The discounted tickets are still available through Friday. There's probably going to be a price increase next week because we have to meet certain obligations to the venue. But in any event, come on down, Dallas, October 8th. And I know people are concerned about travel. I get that. Make your plans. It'll be fine. It's easy to get there to and from the airport or drive there if you're within 6 hours or so. It's probably better to just drive. Come on out. Stay at the location. The rooms are cheap. The rooms are inexpensive. The tickets are affordable. The free lunch. There's going to be a happy hour Friday night. There's an early access breakfast on Saturday. We'll be around Saturday night as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. So come on out in Dallas. Check out Economic Preppers to learn about gold, silver, real estate, and crypto. But getting it back to crypto, okay? The power story, right? All about the energy, all about the power. This is going to tie also into Bitcoin mining because what we're going to see is that the price of power is going up. That's unquestionable. Yes, they're controlling access to it and they're trying to drive the price up to make people. It's a power grab, literally. It's a power grab of who controls the natural resources. So as the petrodollar dies and it becomes an energy type dollar, as what we saw with Iran, what they're doing to avoid sanctions, and they're playing the sanctions game with Russia and the availability of liquid natural gas. All this ties back to electricity prices going up. And we know heating prices are going to go up too. It's going to be a rough winter for a lot of the colder climates, no question. So it's going to impact the middle of the U.S., North, Canada, Europe, all those areas as we go into winter. So it's going to be rough, but the price of energy, the price of electricity is going to go up. And what does that mean for Bitcoin? Bitcoin miners have three main costs. The miners themselves, the electricity, and miners themselves, and I'm missing one. Oh, I think the facility. So you have electricity, you have the electricity to run the miners. Oh, cooling. Okay, so there's two things tied to utilities. The cost of the cooling, if they need cooling in their facility to keep the miners cool. Their computers, they're running hot, they're constantly running, and they can run very warm. Those rooms can get very, very hot if you've ever been in a mining location. And also the cost of electricity to operate them. So as those costs go up, that's going to bring the floor price of what it is to break even for Bitcoin up higher. So right now, this is why a lot of people have been saying that Bitcoin can go down to the $12,000 to $14,000 range, because that's about the break-even point between the current miners' cost, the cost of the facilities and air conditioning, and the cost of electricity. But as the cost of the cooling and electricity increases, that floor will go up in terms of dollars. So that means that $12,000 to $14,000 potential that some people are talking about could be going 14 to 16 or 16 to 18. Okay, so I'm not saying the bottom is in for Bitcoin, but I'm saying that the price of energy going up is going to mean that the price of Bitcoin in dollars is probably going to go up as well. Not financial advice, not investment advice, just saying that's what the math tends to tell me. And we'll be talking more about that tonight on my AMA as Patrick joins us, and we'll be talking all about this, the thing about the event down in Texas too, but also about what he's looking at for indicators for when the bottom is in Bitcoin, and he's watching these energy prices too. So I spend a lot of energy here. I would love to hear your comments, read them, see them, hear about them. I want to see your likes and subscribe, share this video out. That helps the channel, helps out our event too. We'd love to see you down in Texas. We'll look forward to everybody. It's always fun when we all get together, and it's a good time. It's a good time for everybody to get to see one another, have a real life event, enjoy a beverage together, hang out. It's a lot of fun. So hope to see you in Texas. But with all that said today, I'm going to close the door on the bureau, say follow leader one more time, and I'll talk to you soon, hopefully tonight on the AMA. So have a good one. And I just blew the ending. My editor's going to kill me. I blew the ending. Oh, well. Closing the door on the bureau, say follow leader, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.